over the span of a decade. A lot of people are very short-term sighted, but as long as you're innovating, adapting, reinvesting, I think if you do it intelligently.
Imagine like you're 9 years, still no one gives a about your channel, and you're like, one more year, here we go, one more year, here we go.
Here we are. MrBeast is not just a YouTuber anymore. He is building a full-scale brand empire. What started as viral challenge videos has now stretched into food products, merch, and now something even bigger. When Beastland was first announced, it sounded like the kind of bold move only someone at his level could pull off. This was not a temporary set or a flashy weekend event. This was pitched as a real amusement-style attraction built around the wild challenges fans have watched for years. Bright colors, giant props, oversized games, and physical competitions with real prizes for everyday fans. The visuals looked like they jumped straight out of one of his thumbnails. On the surface, it felt like the natural next step. Bigger videos led to bigger budgets led to bigger business moves, and now, apparently, a full-scale experience park. For a moment, people were honestly impressed. Even critics had to admit it sounded ambitious in a good way. A YouTube creator building something physical at that scale felt almost unheard of. It felt bold. It felt historic. It felt like the internet crossing into the real world in a massive way. That early excitement carried Beastland for a short while. Social media buzzed. Fans imagined themselves competing in real-life versions of the challenges they had watched on their screens. But then the questions started rolling in, and that is when the tone shifted. The more details that came out, the less it felt like a simple fan celebration. Instead, some viewers began wondering about the bigger picture behind it all. The conversation moved from hype to curiosity, and curiosity turned into debate. Was set for Saudi Arabia, and that single was set for Saudi Arabia, and that single detail instantly changed the energy online, not because of the location alone, but because of the wider context tied to it.
Now, Jack, a completely unrelated question. Do you like MrBeast? No. Jack, do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes. Now, in all honesty, Jack, why?
Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun.
You just don't think you had fun playing Squid Games? You don't think you had fun riding on yachts? Building wells in Africa? I don't know.
If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer.
We'd see the fun.
Ooh. I thought you were going to get me with that one, didn't you?
Saudi Arabia is not just another random stop on the map. Saudi Arabia is not just hosting random events. The country has been investing massive amounts of money into entertainment, sports, influencer partnerships, boxing matches, football leagues, esports tournaments, music festivals, and celebrity appearances. It is part of a larger push to reshape its global image and position itself as a center for modern culture and excitement. Beastland did not just appear out of nowhere. It landed right in the middle of this wider government-backed campaign connected to Riyadh season. That detail changed everything. The idea that this was simply a fan-focused project started to feel less clear once people realized it was part of a much bigger initiative. When MrBeast was asked why Saudi Arabia was chosen, the explanation sounded simple. He said it was central and easier for people around the world to visit, but that answer did not hold up for long. Online fact-checkers and independent researchers quickly pointed out that Beastland was linked to Riyadh season, which is funded and supported at a national level. Suddenly, the conversation shifted from accessibility to business agreements. Once that connection became widely known, people started reading the fine print much more closely. That is when the tone changed from excitement to concern. The ticket terms stood out. Guests were not allowed to bring professional recording equipment. Re-entry was not permitted. By attending, visitors automatically agreed to be filmed by organizers. The organizers stated they were not responsible for injuries or serious incidents. Most importantly,
where's MrBeast Burger? How many of them do you have?
Right now, we don't have any physical. We have 1,600 virtual restaurants.
So you order it online and then they deliver it?
Yeah, so like, let's say you own a mom and pop restaurant. You literally just sign up, go through the course, you learn how to make all the stuff on a menu, and you just order our ingredients and our packaging, and then you just flick it on Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and you can start taking orders, and we let you keep a majority of the revenue. So it's basically like, it's a win-win for restaurants, especially when COVID first hit. It was like huge for a lot of restaurants because I was pushing it really hard back then. And like some restaurants, you were literally laying off people, and then they started serving Beast Burger, and some of them doing like 10 grand a week.
Attendees were required to follow Saudi Arabia's public conduct and public taste laws. For people unfamiliar with those laws, they are not just casual suggestions. They are enforceable regulations. Filming accidents, incidents, or other people without approval can result in penalties. Authorities can require footage to be deleted immediately. Sharing content online that portrays events negatively may also carry consequences. That reality made many people pause. In places like the United States, when something unexpected happens at a large event, phones come out instantly. Videos spread. Public discussion follows. Accountability often grows from that transparency. At Beastland, critics argued the structure made that kind of public documentation much harder. If something goes wrong, the public may never see it. There would be no viral clip, no independent footage, and no outside narrative. For fans used to documenting everything, that felt like a loss of control. It was no longer just about giant games and big prizes. It became a conversation about who controls the story if something unexpected happens. Then the broader ethical questions entered the chat. Saudi Arabia's record on freedom of expression and civil liberties has been widely reported by international organizations. Restrictions on speech, limits on public dissent, and strict social regulations are part of that system. That context made some viewers question why a creator known for open filming and audience engagement would anchor a major project there.
How's it going, guys? A week ago, I launched an AI thumbnail tool to help small creators make better thumbnails, and I thought people were going to be pretty excited about it, but I definitely missed the mark. If you open up Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. And so I read all your guys' feedback, and I've been thinking a lot about it. And so we just enacted some changes that I think you guys will find positive. And so going forward, there is no AI thumbnail tool. Anyone from now on that signs up for ViewStats Pro, there will not be the AI thumbnail tool. It just doesn't exist. We pulled it down. And on top of that, I wanted to go one step further to really show artists out there that I care.
The most serious concern raised online involved labor. Large-scale attractions require large workforces. In the Gulf region, labor conditions have been heavily scrutinized for years. Reports from international watchdog groups have documented cases involving migrant workers recruited from lower-income countries, long working hours in extreme heat, delayed wages, unsafe housing conditions, and unexplained fatalities. These concerns are not rumors. They have been part of ongoing global discussions tied to mega projects across the region. Because filming at Beastland is restricted and independent reporting can be limited, many people feel they may never fully understand who built the attraction or under what conditions. That unanswered question continues to shape the debate. The silence around Beastland did not feel random. To many observers, it felt built into the structure itself. For years, some major creators have warned about this direction. D'Angelo Wallace questioned influencer brands aimed at kids, arguing that some creators were selling low-quality products while presenting them as upgrades. Jacksepticeye spoke openly about YouTube shifting away from creativity and toward pure optimization and profit. PewDiePie joked about grind culture long before burnout became a common topic. Beastland feels like the real-world endpoint of that evolution. It is no longer just about making viral videos. It is about expansion. It is about partnerships. It is about placing a brand inside systems much larger than the platform that built it.
If you go on viewstats.com, under our more tools section, it will say hire thumbnail artists. And if you click that, it'll take you to a page of artist portfolios where you can commission a real thumbnail artist to make you a real thumbnail. So I care more than any of you could ever imagine about the YouTube community. I mean, obviously I'm the biggest YouTuber in the world and I don't take that responsibility lightly. And so, you know, it deeply makes me sad when I do something that, you know, people in the community are upset by. And I also want to put out there that I guarantee you, I have spent more money on thumbnail artists than...
MrBeast is not just a creator now. He operates like a corporation with multiple revenue streams, international deals, and large-scale collaborations. Corporations do not move on impulse. They move on contracts. That is why this moment feels different. This is not about merch complaints or a product delay. This is a physical project that places real fans in real situations under real laws. When you add government involvement, filming restrictions, and ongoing global discussions about civil liberties, the stakes shift completely. This is not about cancel culture. It is about scrutiny. Whether intentional or not, Beastland highlighted a change many viewers already sensed but could not fully explain. The creator who once gave away money in viral challenges is now operating at a level where ethical considerations carry as much weight as spectacle. At that scale, people expect clarity. Thumbnails and giveaways are not enough to answer bigger questions. This does not mean it is the end of MrBeast, but it may mark the end of the untouchable image. Once the initial shock faded, something else stood out: silence. There was no long breakdown video, no detailed explanation addressing the concerns head-on. That absence became part of the story. When someone with a platform that large chooses not to clarify, audiences fill in the gaps themselves. And in this case, the gaps felt wide. What made this controversy different from past Backlash cycles is that there was no simple moral counterbalance. In previous situations, criticism could be redirected toward charity totals, donations, or lives changed.
Any other YouTuber in the world, I've probably spent more money on thumbnail artists than the top 100 creators combined. I mean, I have a small army of thumbnail artists that work for me. I'm looking to hire more thumbnail artists. So I just want to put that out there, and I have no intention of firing my thumbnail artists or anything. Like, this is, you know, just supposed to help make them more effective and blah, blah. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But regardless, it doesn't matter. The tool's down for future people that sign up for ViewStats Pro. And yeah, now it's a funnel to help artists make more money. So I'm really excited. Go check it out. Hey, go to viewstats.com and click on the Hire the Artist tab and, you know, go commission real artists, help them make more money. So take care, guys.
Beastland does not fit neatly into that framework. You cannot resolve concerns about government regulations or labor conditions with a giveaway. There is no chart that smooths that out. Supporters tried to offer context. Some fans argued that participating in a global event does not mean controlling a nation's laws. Others said that if major Western corporations operate in Saudi Arabia, a YouTuber should not be held to a different standard. On paper, that argument sounds reasonable. But the counterpoint is just as clear. MrBeast is not a small creator scrambling for survival. His brand is built on intentional choices. He selects projects. He negotiates deals. He does not stumble into partnerships at this level. That difference matters. When a small influencer accepts a questionable sponsorship, critics often see pressure or desperation. When one of the largest creators in the world joins a state-backed entertainment initiative in a highly regulated country, people naturally examine the decision more closely. This was not about survival, it was about expansion. And that expansion mindset connects the dots. The food brands, the beverages, the restaurant chains, the merchandise, the tech tools, and now a physical attraction tied to a national entertainment campaign. Individually, each move can be explained as business growth. Together, they signal a deeper shift. MrBeast did not stop creating content, but the balance changed. He moved from being a creator who makes business decisions to a business that produces content. It is a subtle transition, yet once viewers notice it, it is hard to ignore. Beastland was not marketed like a traditional theme park. It was framed as an immersive experience inside the MrBeast universe, a place where fans could step into the world they had watched online. That concept is powerful. It promises closeness. It promises access. But access under heavy rules feels different. You can attend, but you cannot freely document. You can participate, but only within strict boundaries. You are present, but the environment is tightly controlled. For some fans, that creates tension. Community usually implies shared experience and open exchange. A space built on restricted documentation feels more like curated exposure. Hosting that experience in a country where public expression is tightly regulated only amplifies the discomfort for critics. The symbolism becomes bigger than the attraction itself. It starts to look like a polished spectacle operating inside a system designed for narrative control. And that leads to the final question many people are asking. If something unexpected happens, who handles it? Local authorities? Event organizers? What processes are in place, and how transparent would they be? The uncertainty around enforcement, not just the rules themselves, is what keeps this conversation alive. Questions kept stacking up. Event staff? Government officials? If something went wrong, who actually steps in? What rights do visitors really have once they walk through those gates? None of that was clearly explained. And when legal fine print feels vague inside a highly controlled environment, vague rarely works in favor of the guest. Certain creators picked up on that instantly. Not the ones chasing invitations or special access, but the ones who built their platforms on calling things out. The same voices who warned about algorithm obsession, non-stop product launches, and profit-first thinking looked at Beastland and saw more than a theme park. They saw a turning point. Here's the uncomfortable truth many people avoid saying. This is exactly the direction YouTube has rewarded for years. Bigger, louder, more expensive. Retention grabs over personality. Branding over identity. Risk framed as innovation. MrBeast did not invent that system, but he mastered it better than anyone. And once you dominate a system at that level, you don't just play inside it. You start shaping it. That is why Beastland matters beyond one country or one event. It represents what happens when the platform's most successful figure moves beyond content into infrastructure. When the spectacle stops being a video and becomes a physical space. When entertainment connects directly with larger political and economic systems. At that point, people stop evaluating you as just a creator. They start evaluating you like an institution. And institutions do not get automatic goodwill. they get scrutiny, they get analysis, they get hard questions. What is especially interesting is how temporary Beastland actually is. Despite the massive rollout, it is not a permanent park, it is a limited run attraction, built, promoted, experienced, then removed. When it closes, the structures come down, the headlines slow down, the location resets, but the questions stay. Who benefited financially? Who carried the risk? Who accepted liability? What were the working conditions behind the scenes? What agreements were signed? These are not things that vanish just because an event ends. A shutdown date does not erase public curiosity. And here is another key detail. Beastland did not have to happen there. MrBeast has the resources to build almost anywhere in the world. He has the audience. He has the leverage. He has global brand power. That means the location was not a matter of survival, it was a strategic decision. When something feels necessary, people are more forgiving. When it feels optional, they judge it differently. That is why the reaction has been so strong. Once audiences understand that a choice was deliberate, they look at the reasoning behind it more critically. None of this means MrBeast is over. His audience is massive. His numbers are unmatched. He will likely continue breaking records and pulling in views most creators can only dream about. But something has shifted. The conversation changed. Before, the main question was simple. Is this cool? Now, the question sounds different. Should this exist? That is a much heavier conversation for any brand to face, especially one built on generosity, spectacle, and trust. The era where spectacle alone could outweigh ethics might truly be coming to an end. For years, bigger meant better, louder meant smarter, more expensive meant more impressive. But audiences are not the same anymore. Viewers have grown up alongside the platform. They understand branding, they understand contracts, they understand strategy, and once that awareness clicks in, the way they see creators changes forever. Beastland did not create that shift. It exposed it. For a long time, MrBeast represented the ultimate internet success story. A guy with wild ideas, endless ambition, and a camera turning challenges into massive moments, giving away money, building giant sets, breaking records. It felt chaotic in a fun way. It felt unpredictable. It felt human. Even when the budgets exploded, the core idea still felt simple. Make something crazy and film it. But Beastland feels different because it moves beyond content. It is not just a video concept. It is infrastructure. It is location-based entertainment. It is contracts tied to large institutions. And when a creator steps into that space, the way the public evaluates them shifts overnight. Once people stop seeing you as one of us and start seeing you as a company, everything changes. Companies are not judged on personality. They are judged on impact. They are not evaluated on vibes. They are evaluated on consequences. That is the level MrBeast is operating at now. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Companies do not receive unconditional love. They receive scrutiny. They receive questions. They receive resistance when decisions feel misaligned with values. That does not mean they fail. It means they are taken seriously. So now the conversation is not about whether Beastland looked impressive. Almost everyone agrees it did. The builds were huge. The marketing was loud. The concept was ambitious. On a technical level, it delivered spectacle. And the real question is whether it was worth it. Was the expansion into a government-backed entertainment initiative a neutral business move? Or was it a line that permanently shifted how audiences see the brand? Did the global reach justify the potential cost to trust? Because trust is the most valuable currency any creator has. For years, MrBeast's brand leaned heavily on generosity and transparency. The audience watched money being handed out. They saw reactions. They saw people's lives changing on camera. Whether you loved or criticized the format, the premise was visible. The process was documented. The audience felt included in the moment. Beastland introduced a new dynamic, a controlled physical space, filming restrictions, legal frameworks that are not familiar to many Western viewers, government alignment. That combination made people pause. It was not outrage for the sake of outrage, it was hesitation. And hesitation is powerful, because once an audience hesitates, they start asking deeper questions. Why this location? Why this partnership? Why now? And most importantly, was this necessary? MrBeast is not a struggling creator searching for a break. He is one of the most financially powerful figures on the platform. He could build large-scale experiences in countless countries. He has the leverage. He has the audience. He has the funding. That means the decision was intentional. Intentional choices carry weight. When something feels unavoidable, people are more forgiving. When it feels strategic, they analyze it. That is what happened here. Viewers move from hype to analysis almost instantly. And here is where the shift becomes even clearer. For years, YouTube incentivized scale above all else. Bigger thumbnails, bigger prizes, bigger numbers. Retention charts became the focus. Optimization became a science. Risk was reframed as innovation. The platform rewarded whoever could stretch spectacle to the absolute limit. MrBeast mastered that system better than anyone. He did not just play the algorithm game. He rewrote it. He turned viral stunts into an empire. He proved that YouTube was not just a platform for videos. It was a launchpad for global business. Beastland feels like the physical endpoint of that philosophy. When spectacle becomes permanent, it stops being just content. It becomes a structure. It becomes embedded. And once entertainment connects directly with political and institutional frameworks, audiences stop treating it like a harmless video. They treat it like influence. And influence carries responsibility. This does not mean MrBeast has done something unforgivable. It does not mean the brand collapses. His reach is enormous. His audience is global. He will continue breaking records. He will continue launching products. He will continue dominating headlines. But something changed. The relationship shifted from admiration to evaluation, from excitement to examination. Before, the question was simple. Is this cool? Now it sounds different. Should this exist? That is not a small change. That is a philosophical one. Should a creator align with state-funded entertainment campaigns? Should spectacle be separated from political context? Should growth have boundaries? These are not questions that can be answered with a giveaway or a flashy edit. And once those questions enter the conversation, they stay. Another key detail that makes this moment stand out is the temporary nature of Beastland. Despite all the hype, it is not permanent. It is a limited-time attraction, built, promoted, experienced, then dismantled. When it closes, the structures disappear. The marketing campaign winds down. The desert resets. But the perception does not reset. People will remember the decision. They will remember the partnership. They will remember how it felt. And perception, once changed, is difficult to reverse. One of the biggest challenges any large creator faces is scale versus relatability. Growth brings opportunity. It also brings distance. When your audience feels like you are operating on their level, they connect emotionally. When you operate at corporate scale, that emotional bridge becomes harder to maintain. Relatability is fragile. Reach is powerful. The question is whether one slowly replaces the other. Did Beastland represent necessary evolution, or did it signal a trade-off? Some supporters argue that business expansion is simply the natural next step, that global partnerships are part of success, that expecting a creator to stay small forever is unrealistic. That perspective is valid, but critics counter with another point. Growth does not automatically erase ethical consideration. Expansion does not mean context disappears. When you step into new arenas, you inherit their complexities. And audiences today are paying attention to those complexities more than ever. The internet has matured. Viewers research, they compare, they analyze contracts and partnerships, they understand branding language, they understand image management, they know when a narrative feels controlled. That awareness is not going away. So now we arrive at the core question. Was Beastland simply an ambitious project taken out of context, a bold move that became controversial because of timing and optics, or did it reveal how far YouTube's biggest figure has drifted from the platform culture that built him? There is no simple answer. Maybe it is both. Maybe it is a brilliant business decision that came with unavoidable backlash. Maybe it is a sign of the times. Maybe it is the cost of operating at a scale no other creator has reached. But one thing is clear. The era where spectacle alone could override deeper concerns is fading. Audiences are not just watching anymore, they are evaluating. And when a creator crosses from internet personality into institution-level influence, the rules change. Institutions do not get automatic benefit of the doubt. They get examined, they get questioned, they get challenged. That is not cancellation, that is growth of a different kind. So what do you think? Was Beastland just another ambitious chapter in a long line of bold experiments? Or was it the moment that permanently shifted how people see the biggest name on the platform? Did the expansion justify the risk, or did it cost something that cannot easily be measured? Let me know where you stand in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your perspective because this conversation is bigger than one park or one creator. If you found this deep dive valuable, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you do not miss the next breakdown. This story is still unfolding, and if there is one thing the internet has proven, it is that the next update is always around the corner. I will see you on the next one.